Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. My name is Kristen, and this is Quilter Chris. Today I want to show you what I've been working on this past month and do a little trunk show. I'll include links to the patterns down below. And just a quick note, I'm not affiliated with any of these patterns or designers in any way. I'm simply sharing what I've been working on this month. Occasionally, I do list extras in my Etsy shop, but not always. If you're interested, I'll provide a link to my Etsy shop below. But if you enjoyed the video, I'd also really appreciate a like and subscribe. And I would love to know what you're working on, and feel free to share in the comments. Now let's dive into the first project that I'm so excited to share with you. The first item that I worked on this month was the Spellbound Quilted Witch's Hat sewing pattern. This is a fun witch hat pattern by Mortinson from the Polka Dot Chair. It came together pretty quickly. It took me just a few hours from printing out the pattern to cutting and assembling the hat. When you purchase the pattern, you also get access to a helpful video that she's had. It's a tutorial. I've heard that Fat Quarter Shop has a similar pattern on their blog, but I haven't checked that out or made that one myself. So this pattern uses just 2 pattern pieces, and it's quilted. I used under 2 yards of fabric, and while the entire hat is quilted, there's also a non-quilted version available. Melissa does recommend using foam interfacing or a 1/4 inch foam for structure, and you can quilt it in any design you like. I went with a grid pattern, and I traced it out on the fabric before I quilted it, and I quilted mine on my industrial machine because it already had the purple thread in it. But most domestic machines should handle this just fine. Melissa actually quilted hers on a domestic. For the construction, most of the seams are bound closed. I didn't bind the one in the cone, but I did the rest. She also hand stitched the sash in place, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. My older daughter, who sews a lot of costumes, she suggested you could use wire ribbon or millinery wire in the brim or in the binding if you wanted to make more structure and bend it. I didn't do that, but I'm really happy with how it turned out as is. I am planning to wear this hat with the pretty purple dress I have when I take my 11-year-old trick-or-treating. It's a really fun pattern. Highly recommended. The next item I have to share is a bag I made. I did sew this on my industrial machine, and just as an aside, that industrial machine has been a game changer. I've been making vinyl bags for about 10 years, but I've only had my industrial for about a year. That said, I fully believe you could make this bag on a domestic machine without any issues, and you could do it in vinyl. The pattern I used is the Joseph bag by Shamballa bags, and I'll put the link below, and there are several tutorials on this on YouTube. I don't have one, but lots of great people do tutorials. The strawberry shortcake vinyl came from a small business I found called the Sketchy Pumpkin. They are sold out of the strawberry shortcake vinyl now, or faux leather, but you can find, she has lots of other designs on her site. The solid pink vinyl is from marinevinylfabric.com, and I purchased the hardware from bedazzledsupplies.com. Bedazzled's also on Etsy. I absolutely love how this bag turned out. I made it as a crossbody bag, and I didn't use the special connectors that are included in the pattern, but I did make them for the one I made for my sister, which I'll show you on here too. The crossbody bag was made for myself, but I made the lining just a bit too small, so I wouldn't feel comfortable selling this one anyway with that flaw. It does have several slip pockets in the back and in the front, a key fob, a phone slot, and a zippered interior pocket. I already have a few more cut out that I plan to work on soon. Overall, there's nothing super difficult about this bag. This was my second time making the pattern. The first one, as is always the case with the first time I make a bag pattern, didn't come out as I had hoped, but this one was better, and then my third one was perfect. I also made a matching wallet. I used the Gemini Wallet pattern, which you can find on Etsy, and I'll share a link to that. The Gemini Wallet, this was just the first version that I had made. It's super easy. It's a PDF pattern. You just print it out. It's very straightforward. My phone, I have the newest iPhone. It'll fit right in here. It's got card slots and a change purse, And anyway, it just comes together really easily. You can use it with vinyl or without, and she's got a bunch of variations you can use in the pattern. But moving back to quilts, if you've watched my other videos like on labels and binding, you've already seen the 2 quilts I finished, and I'll show you those videos down below. The larger one is from a pattern that I got a few years ago in a Sew Sampler box. And in case you didn't know, Sew Sampler is a monthly subscription box from Fat Quarter Shop. This quilt is just a basic throw size, and I did all the piecing and the quilting on my domestic machine. For the backing, I used a Lori Holt wide backing scrap that I had left over from another project. The other quilt is from the Jolly Bar book, Volume 3, and it's called Homecoming. It used 1 Jolly Bar and some background fabric. All of the fabric I used is Bonnie and Camille fabric. The Jolly Bars are a special pre-cut from Fat Quarter Shop. They measure 5 inches by 10 inches, which is half the size of a layer cake. You could also use scraps if you wanted. I used more of that leftover wide backing for the back and did all the piecing and quilting myself on my domestic. I actually pieced both of these quilts a couple months ago, but only got around to quilting them last month. But I thought they were kind of fun and I wanted to share. The next project I completed was the Designer Mystery Block of the Month for September. I haven't received October's block yet, but I managed to finish this one on September 30th. So if it's done on the last day of the month, it still counts, right? I also have a video of me making this block, which I'll link below if you want to see it. The Designer Mystery Block of the Month. This is a sew-along from Fat Quarter Shop that arrives monthly. September's block was the 4th block in the series. Next up is this fun Tea Party quilt pattern by Flamingo Toes. That's Beverly McCullough's company. Both the fabric and the pattern are designed by Flamingo Toes. The background fabric is a white-on-white print that I believe that I picked up at Joann's. And I'll include the pattern on Etsy below. But you can also search Tea Party Quilt on Etsy or Tea Party Quilt Pattern and Beverly McCullough fabric, and it'll come right up. I last worked on this quilt in August, but managed to cut out the next set of blocks in September. I really do love this quilt, and I'm making it for a friend who is a big tea lover. I may make a video as I sew up the rest of the blocks, but they're mostly just these teacup blocks. So far, I finished the teapots, and all that's left are some more of the teacups. I'll share a video of the other cups that I made below. My next quilt in progress is Purry Stars. This is by Yoder for Coriander Quilts. I snagged the pattern when it was on sale for $5 from her store. She often has a $5 sale on one pattern each month. The fabric I'm using is just from my stash, and my older daughter, who loves cats, even helped me cut it out. I'll just show you the box and the hourglass blocks that I've been working on. It's been a fun project to work on just while watching TV, and I think it's turning out super cute. And finally, this last quilt is for a friend who gave me this fabric several years ago and just asked me if I could make a quilt from it. I designed a basic pattern using Electric Quilt, which is a quilt design software, and I've been steadily working on it. I experimented with a few different methods for making flying geese, and I think I found my favorite. So I'll be making a video soon on how to do the four at a time method, and we'll share that with you. Wow, for September, it was a busy month. I would love to hear in the comments what projects you've been working on. Let me know all about them, and at the end, I'll show you some more pictures of these projects. Until next time, happy quilting. Bye-bye now.